How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Papa Powell going on the microphone. Papa Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, chat? How's everyone doing? Welcome to another episode with your boy TraderPrad. Let me make sure the mic is working. It is indeed working. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you had a wonderful Wednesday, May 29th, and ready for another amazing Thursday coming up. Oh boy, do we have stocks in store to talk about today. There's so much to talk about today. There's so many good names that reported earnings. We'll walk through some of the movers that moved in the after hours. Get ready for some of the names that are reporting tomorrow pre-market. Look at how the stocks that reported today moved. My goodness, ANF. I have to clear my throat after just saying ANF. ANF with a monster rally to the upside, and then it had a little special moment later on in the day. We can highlight that moment once we dive deeper into ANF and all that. But the ANF with the monster move, Kava bounced up to the north side a little bit. Chewy went up. That was my top trade of the day today. So opportunities were there across the board. You name it. Some of the trades that we actually planned for yesterday played out exactly. So now we're waiting to see how the trades for tomorrow set up, and that's what you're here for. So welcome. Let's get ready to get the party started. But before we do that, as I always like to do, is take a look at all my stream chats real quick to see who's all in here. We got Dieter, TH, and Barkit in the chat. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you had a wonderful day. TH is asking Dieter, is it Daider or Daider? I think it's the first one, not the second one, if I remember correctly. Or maybe he doesn't want me to say that. Maybe I need to be quiet. Your memes now all have less or all gray hair. Ani, or Auntie you mean, Auntie caught it in the chat yesterday. Really? That's not something that No, that's not true. I did Dune Timothy Charlemagne recently, and that was like a full black hair. So I don't know about that one, but you know, some of them are gray hair. Today's CEO for C3AI actually has gray hair, so it's not my fault. It's not my fault all these CEOs are old. God damn it. It's not my fault for that. But you know, you guys might be onto something there. You guys might be onto something with that. Tomorrow is the last show. No comeback TZ time for neither market nor the Kardashians. Why, the market off Friday? Well, I know I don't stream Friday, but tomorrow is indeed the last stream for this week. We'll be back Sunday. Actually, no, I should be able to stream this Sunday. Yes. I should be able to stream this Sunday. So we'll be back this Sunday for a stream and get you guys ready for a beautiful start of the next month. Barkit, what'd you have for me in store, buddy? Barkit asking, hey Prad, great work on analyzing Kava price action yesterday. It played perfectly as you had discussed. I took a trade in that. Oh, awesome. I love to hear that. Let's go, Barkit. Good news. Shout out to you for taking that trade. I was looking for a trade on Kava, but it did bounce. You saw how it went into the after hours low that it created into 75, 74. Barely had any selling under that, and then it bounced. I was too busy watching ANF and other positions, so I did not take the long on Kava. It was a little regretting over there for the downside move to not catch it. But if you caught it, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Beautiful move, because you got to ride it, what, all the way up to $80 or something, if I remember. It actually broke all-time high today. It actually broke all-time high later on. So, hey, like I said, the after-hours selling that the stock had was absolutely bullshit because the report was beautiful. So if you rode that call, shout out to you, man. Not to me. Shout out to you. I was at jury duty. It was hell. Oh no. Tell us more. Tell us more about this jury duty. I never had to do jury duty. I don't know if there's like a age limit for it or something. So thankfully, I've never had to face it. I think my parents had to do it once, but you know, we'll see whenever my time comes up. But yeah, oof, I bet it was not fun at all, huh? Do you hold a piece of your mRNA till close? Oh yeah, I actually messaged you that I traded mRNA. I didn't want to tell anybody, but okay, now that Momo's bringing the cat out of the bag, yes, I traded mRNA. I was long mRNA off of VWAP. After it held VWAP, I got long and it was a good trade. We can dive deeper into it, I guess. We can go into the main screen. I'm just going to see who all's in the chat, say hello to them real quick. Obviously, Momo. Hello, Momo. How are you doing? But I guess all the questions down below over here are stock related. So why don't we go on right ahead into the big screen, take you guys to see what's all in store for tonight that we're going to talk about and get ready for tomorrow's trade. So here's the earnings calendar, the stocks that reported tonight. Honestly, there's a lot of them that we need to go over. So I'm going to skip over some of the less important names. We're not going to look at Okta. We're not going to look at NTNX, and we're not going to look at AMSC. Besides that, we're looking at every single name on the after hour list. That's Salesforce, C3AI, UiPath, Pure Storage, HPQ, Alliant Technologies, Agilent Technologies. I don't know how you say that stupid name, whatever. Anyways, the ticker A, and American Eagle Outfitters. Along with that, some of the stocks that reported today that we'll be taking a look at, which is Abercrombie and Fitch, Chewy, Dick's. Along with that, we're going to take a look at Kava also. Couple stocks that report tomorrow pre-market in our watch list. That's CGC, Foot Locker, I guess more than a couple. CGC, Foot Locker, Dollar General, Best Buy, Birkenstock. I guess I should add Burlington to that list of stocks over there. Maybe we'll quickly see how that stock has been doing recently. There's stock over here, Build-A-Bear Workshop, very little volume, but I have seen it give us some good trades on earning days. It's near all-time highs, so maybe it can give you a trade or something, but right now not really too excited about Build-A-Bear. But Burlington, how have you been doing? You bring in about 1 million shares or so. You're around $200, and you know, that seems to be a nice flat top if we're able to reclaim that and push back up to the north side. So there could be a trade over here. I'm just gonna put Burlington right under Birkenstock, which is a new IPO. Well, not new IPO, one of the more recent IPOs, Birkenstock, that I remember trading on the IPO side. And now with their earnings report coming out very soon, which is tomorrow pre-market, we'll look to see if this stock can set up for a trade. Let me quickly just grab Burl's ATR with a $200 stock with only 1 million shares traded so far on the 30-day average. It has an ATR of about $5.77. So that is Birkenstock and Burl. Now, coming back to the chat real quick, you were asking me for what stock Kava, nope, not Kava. 76 support, ran up to 88 for Kava like you had expected. Very impressive. I mean, yeah, you know it, baby. My calls always be like that. That's why the title today, Legendary Day Trader, calling it out for you guys. Could you please discuss Okta and CRM? Okta I was actually going to ignore, but CRM is on my watch list. So we'll go through CRM. Maybe I can quickly scan through Okta for you. But I think there's going to be way better day trades tomorrow besides Okta, like AI, PAT, HPQ, Pure Storage. There's so many names tomorrow that Okta is kind of just shoved off in the side for me. Not even on the watch list, but I'll go through it for you. Wayne coming in legendary. I mean, you know it, brother. Do you even need to ask? My stats speak for themselves. My stats speak for themselves. You know those stats. They speak for themselves. I've yet to see anyone at your office still beat those stats. Get to me, baby. Fight me. Fight me. All right. So why don't we get started with the top stock at the watch list for tomorrow, which is CRM. And we're going to start with taking a look at their earnings report. I don't want to see how the stock moved. Actually, that's a lie. I already saw how it moved. They actually flushed to the downside. They got smoked. So let's go take a look at Benzinga real quick. Go check out this link in the description below or in the link in the chat. If you're on YouTube, the link in the chat, click on that. Shout out to Streamlabs for it. But we're going to take a look at earnings from CRM real quick. First quarter revenue coming in at 9.13 billion, missing the estimates of 9.147 billion slightly, but the revenue was still up 11% year to year. Salesforce has a strong track record of beating analyst estimates. The first quarter miss of Salesforce's top line miss is more than a decade. Okay, the enterprise cloud solutions company reported quarterly adjusted earnings of $2.44 per share, beating the analyst estimates of $2.38 per share. Operating margin came in at 18.7% and non-GAAP operating margin came in at 32.1%. Cash flow was up 39% year over year, and free cash flow was up 43%. The company ended the quarter with remaining up 10% year over year in the performance obligation side. AI, talk AI, blah, 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 blah mentions. Now we want to see what the outlook looks like. Salesforce second quarter revenue is in the range of 9.2 to 9.25 versus the estimates of 9.34. That right there seems to be a big reason why the stock got sold off in the after hours. Obviously, they did miss a little bit on the revenue for the current report, and the next quarter that they're reporting already for is coming in slightly, not slightly, way less than what the market was actually anticipating. The company anticipates adjusted earnings to be between $2.34 to $2.36 versus estimates of $2.40. So they're also going to miss on EPS. How does the full year look like? Full year coming in at 37.7 billion to 38 billion versus estimates of 37.98 billion. So the higher end of the range is pretty much the estimate, and then the lower end of the range is a little bit lower than the estimate, but still kind of within the ballpark. The company sees the full year earnings coming in at 986 to 994 versus the estimates of 976. So the full year still looks good. The full year still looks intact, but the current outlook for the next quarter not looking so hot for CRM, and the market sadly pricing it in right now and flushing the stock to the downside big time in the after hours over here. Let's quickly drop in the after hour earnings anchored VWAP real quick. Earnings anchored VWAP popped in for us. Now we want to just zoom out a little bit. Zoom out and start looking for areas that look where the stock has had some sort of a flat hold. Over here, we had a little bit of a flat hold before this earnings pop. Somehow, oh, I do have that earnings mapped out. Okay, so that's the earnings anchor VWAP. This is this earnings anchor VWAP. We had a little bit of a anchor VWAP pinch breakout over here, and now it looks like that breakout is being confirmed, and we're gonna continue pushing to the downside until we find the next support area. However, now that the earnings move has given it a little bit of gap to the downside, for those of you looking to get that anchored VWAP pinch setup, you missed the train. You missed the train. So now we're looking to see how the stock can maybe find some support, have a bounce. The report for the full year is okay, but the next quarter does not look so hot. So there's a chance that this stock can get smoked tomorrow and look to fill this gap to the downside. So watch out. It might even have filled the gap today right now in the after hours. Let's kind of zoom out real quick. It did. It filled the gap, and now the gap high is basically acting as a resistance. Even the earnings anchored VWAP merging in right into that area of that gap close. So the gap close acting as a resistance at the moment. Now we have a little bit of room over here where the stock can kind of bounce into. I could picture the stock having a little bit of a pocket where it trades between whatever those prices are that we just quickly mapped out. Maybe we can zoom up real quick, between 230 to 245, have a little room to decide what it wants to do, and then maybe break out back to the upside, close this gap that we just created, or maybe break down for even more of a room to the downside, go into the 200 area. I can clearly picture that pocket coming in, but right now we're finding resistance in the 231. What if in the pre-market tomorrow we see 231.50 actually acting as a support? If there is no selling above 231 coming in, it's an easy long for us to get into. Nice little resistance already coming into play. If the stock is reclaiming the earnings anchored VWAP and the previous gap high line, I think it's an easy long from there for a nice little gap close. They are growing year to year, right? They're not diminishing on their growth by any means. They're not negative growth or so. They're actually growing year to year. They did miss the estimates slightly for this current report, but the next report's estimates are coming in a little bit lower than estimated. But the full year estimates are coming in almost in line or a little bit better on the EPS side. So I'm expecting the stock will have a bounce, get back above 231. I'm currently putting resistance R1 as 231. Oop, I just put 31. 231.50 for R1. But I would like to see this area get reclaimed tomorrow and the stock to start having some traction above that area. For now, for support, we're going to map out this after hour low right into 223 or so as the S1. Kind of like what, well, Streamlabs, Ani just sent $2. Perfect thumbnail for your boomer ass. Good job. Ha ha ha. Laugh it up. By the way, guys, Ani said that she has a lot of fun in the chat because you guys talk to her. So do me a favor and don't reply to Ani ever again. So that way she does not have fun in the stream. Okay? Period. There you go. Have fun now, Ani. I'm evil. Don't reply to Ani at all. Let's all just like ignore Ani completely. All right. Getting back to the stock market over here, 231 and 223 are the areas that I'm watching at the moment. See how the stock plays out. Obviously, this is not what Kava would play out like because Kava's report was way better than how CRM's report looked like, right? Because Kava's report was decent. They were growing. Stock market still flushed it down. Eventually we found buyers right into the after hour low, kind of the area that we called out into last night's stream. If you caught that, you would have rode it all the way up into all-time high. So insane move over there. I wish I was looking at it right here when it reclaimed today's VWAP or something, but yeah, I missed out on that. A trade that I actually caught today, that Momo was asking if I was holding it into close. I did not hold into close. Honestly, I was looking for a move into 149 and I should have held it. I got impatient, Momo, but it was a trade over here on mRNA. If you look at it on the 1 minute chart, after we get back above VWAP over here, this nasty flush off of VWAP gets bought right back up, and then there's a buyer above VWAP. So I go, okay, there's a buyer here. There's a clean stop right below VWAP, very tight risk. I have a clean long over here that I can ride into. I think I rode it somewhere into this area and then I gave up on the trade. Afterwards, it pulls back into VWAP again and runs to the north side even more. I miss out on that move. You know what? I'm not gonna cry about it. I still caught about $1 or two on that trade, so good trade for me. We missed out on the bigger move that I was actually looking for, but hey, for someone who does not like to trade mRNA, and for someone who generally loses on this stock, and that's why it's on my anti trade list, I managed to pull off a decent trade. I wish I was able to pull off a better trade on it, however. CRM needs to be colored a higher important stock for tomorrow, so let me quickly color it orange. Higher importance. As you guys just saw on that little side screen, the next stock on the list is C3AI. What the hell does this company even do? What the hell does this company even do? Oh, I also need to add another stock on my watch list. I just remembered it seeing this post over here. We gotta add, where is it? I'm gonna add right below, I'm gonna add it right above Apple. I'm gonna add it right above Apple. Insert one above FSLR, because that stock has been going absolutely nuts. $11.94. That stock has been going absolutely nuts. All right. So what the hell does C3AI even do? Does anyone have an answer for that? Like, I just randomly decided to go through the Wikipedia C3AI, and this is what I found. A simple page, C3AI wiki. A very small page that doesn't really say anything about the company. But if you read this, it looks very suspicious. C3AI was founded in 2009 by Thomas. That's the CEO. That's his face that I'm using as a thumbnail for today on YouTube. As the C3. Originally, C in the company's name was for reference to carbon, and the 3 was reference to measure, mitigate, and monetize, because the company's original goal was to help manage corporate carbon footprints. For some time in 2016, the company was named to C3 IoT, and before that was briefly named C3 Energy. The company went public in 2020. Following their IPO, C3AI faced market skepticism and criticism, including that the CEO liquidated shares worth hundreds of millions of dollars soon after the IPO. So very shady. No one still knows what the company actually does. I mean, we do have their website over here. I remember going through their website previously. We see that, you know, Shell chooses to use C3AI, blah, 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 blah. We know what Palantir does. We've seen their software to action. Their software is actually on YouTube that you can clearly see. They have a channel that they post their content on that you can see exactly what Palantir does. You know, and it's amazing what their software does. But what does C3AI do? Nobody knows what this company does. And reading that little description on Wikipedia just has me spinning my head a little bit more. I didn't know that they were previously called C3 Energy or C3, that's it. And then they changed their name to C3 Internet of Things. That's what IoT stands for, C3 IoT Internet of Things. So lots of name changes, clearly not having an idea, going public and just dumping a lot of shares. I mean, that's not like a irregular thing to happen. It's quite normal. IPO is basically an exit vehicle, right? Companies go public so people like shareholders, investors, they can take their profits from their investment when they invested when the company was a startup maybe, and sell it in the public open market at hundreds of thousands of dollars, like in case for Nvidia and so on. But for C3AI, I mean, it's just, what in the hell does this company even do, right? And when the CEO didn't really know what the hell the company is and keeps changing the name, and as soon as they go public, seeing him just dump shares is not really a good sign, because you don't want the CEO to dump shares of a company that quickly, right? So lots of question marks over here for this company. We just got to be a little careful. I think a lot of people have been calling their bullshit for quite some time now, right? Calling their bullshit for quite some time, but this earnings report is irrefutable. You cannot fight the numbers. As I said yesterday, women lie, men lie, numbers do not lie. So this stock is going right back to the upside. Looks like it wants to reclaim some of the levels. I actually had a line at 27.50 that I deleted. I think that line came from somewhere above here. I forget where that line came from. I deleted that line, but it was around 27.50, and as you guys can see, we perfectly rejected off of that 27.50. Forget where that 27.50 line came from. Either way, we reject that 27.50 area perfectly in the after hours, pull back, find some support, and just settle slightly below the earnings anchored VWAP. So now we're waiting to see how the stock reacts on any sort of dip into yesterday's anchored VWAP, find some buying into yesterday's high or so, and then run back up to the north side. Looks like the report was bullish, so why don't we just quickly go take a look at the report using our good friends Benzinga. What happened with the report? C3AI, the company reported 86.6 million, up 20% year to year. I don't know who the hell's paying them. Estimates was 84.4, so they beat the estimates. Subscription revenue came in to 79.9 million, up 41% year to year. So amazing, they're growing on all sides. The company reported a loss of 11 cents per share, beating the estimates of a loss of 30 cents per share. They still don't make money, but they're at least losing less money than previously expected. The company closed 47 agreements in the fourth quarter, including 34 new pilots. We finished a strong quarter and closed out a huge year for C3AI. This was our fifth consecutive quarter for accelerating revenue growth. Demand for enterprise AI is intensifying, and our first to market advantage in enterprise AI positions us well to capitalize on it. Full year revenue coming in at 310.6 million, up 16% year to year. The company ended the fiscal year with 750.4 million in cash. The full year fiscal closed in at 191 agreements, including 123 pilots, up 52% on closed deals and 151% up on the pilots, respectively. Okay, on the year-to-year basis, the company highlighted the growth of the federal state segment. Ooh, okay. With the revenue more than doubling for its full fiscal year across a segment. C3AI said it closed 65 federal agreements in the full fiscal year, 48% year over year. C3AI Generative AI is also expanding into new verticals and helping the company diversify across, according to the report. The segment closed 58 pilot agreements in the full fiscal year. What's next? Company highlighted the CEO enterprise AI applications being adopted across the 19 industries, showing market diverse. What in industries, bro? The C3AI CEO also highlighted federal segments revenue rising more than 100% year over year. I mean, if it's zero and you're making money, obviously it's growing 100% year over year. All right. C3AI is guiding for the first quarter revenue in the range of 84 million to 89 million versus the estimates of 85 million. So that range is a little wide, but at least the lower range of the lower estimate of the range is kind of pretty much near the estimate, and the higher estimate is still quite a bit higher than the estimate. So a little bit of room for them to play with here, I guess. For the full year, they're coming in for the revenue of 370 to 395. Why so wide compared to the estimates of 367? So however, even there's such a wide estimate, they are going to be beating the full year estimates. We are expecting additional acceleration of C3AI revenue growth, approximately 23% in the full year 2025. We plan to continue to invest in growth to build a long-term cash-generating, profitable market leader in enterprise AI. And the stock went up 9% at the time of the report, but sadly, it pulled back, as you guys can see over here in front of your face, pulled back a little bit. Now the question is, what does the stock do tomorrow on any sort of action? Look, I like this 27 area very much. and you can see how 27.50 had a little bit of rejection already. So if for any reason we get above 27 and we have a little bit of traction above 27, I think C3AI could be one of those stocks that could blast off. And if I remember correctly, the stock should also have a decent short flow. It does, 32.6% short flow. So there's a chance that some of the shorts that could be trapped in the stock are now looking for their exit stage left. So looking to see how this we have 26, which is the earnings anchored VWAP. I do think we will start trading above it in the pre-market. So I'm just gonna use the 27 marker that we have from the daily chart as R1, and then R2 I'll use the after hour high over here that we made in the earnings move as the R2 resistance at 27.50. As for support, you're basically waiting to see how the stock reacts into today's high right around 24.50. If it pulls back there for any reason, you basically want to see just a touch of 24.50 and bounce off of it. You don't want to see the stock hanging out too much around here. That's not really a good thing. But if it hangs out for way too long around here, then it might be a good bounce off of that, because the stronger the base, the higher in space, something along those words. So kind of want to wait and see how the action plays out into 24.50. If we do go down there, I'm expecting a bounce right off of that and a nice move up on AI if we go down there. But I think we do something like this in the pre-market going off into the open on C3AI. Maybe I'm expecting too much, because there's a stock that did exactly that today and I wasn't able to capitalize on that. ANF. What a freaking mover today. $37. Just straight rocket ship. I mean, this is the daily chart for ANF. January 2023. You could have got the stock for $20. $22 if you want to be iffy about it. And within a year and a half, the stock is at $200. What? Who's wearing ANF? Apparently they own Hollister, which I didn't know about. Apparently they own Hollister, which I did not know about. But who is actually wearing ANF clothes or Hollister clothes? Which apparently both are growing on record numbers. I don't understand this. My brain is just cooked. My brain is cooked. All the cool kids, trust me, no cool kids wearing ANF these days. Trust me on that. Or Hollister. They're just not. They're simply not. I don't even see their stores in any malls that I go to anymore. It's crazy. It's crazy how the stock has completely turned around within a year and a half. The greatest recovery story ever written in history. Big recovery story in history. I mean, this is nuts. Now I'm just waiting for the stock to get smacked down so I can join the short side. I was praying for the stock to give us a trade for the long side yesterday, if you guys remember on the stream, and it did give us a trade, a monster trade. But boy, was it hard to jump in the long side. Here's where I got caught offside today. I was short right into this area, into 187. I was in the money quite a bit each time, did not take my profits, because I was expecting, the stock to go into 180, go into today's VWAP and just have a nice flush where I make $7 per share or so, make a nice day for myself on ANF. All of a sudden, the volume starts to creep in and the stock breaks, and I get stopped out for a good stop. I'm not upset, right? At a good stop. So I'm not losing too much on this trade. But within 10 seconds, I mean, if you go to the 1 minute chart, that candle is the same height on the 5 minute chart too. That move happened in 10 seconds. That's a $10 move in 10 seconds. Open 187, high 197. What? Either someone's short got blown out. My manager has a theory that someone keystroked a size long and just flushed the stock to the upside on that keystroke. Someone else on Twitter also posted a very same theory, so it could be possible. But this stock, now we just wait to see if there's any sort of a day 2 opportunity. You can see how right into this 180, 182 area, which is actually where the earnings / today's VWAP is. You want to see if this area where we consolidate a little bit and also where today's VWAP is has any sort of traction on a pullback tomorrow. If we bounce right off of that, like just touch it and bounce off of that, we see that the buying from today is still active tomorrow, then we want to be involved in this trade tomorrow also. So ANF, basically watching how this earnings anchored VWAP, which is basically today's VWAP if you think about it, how the stock reacts off of this move to the downside. So let me just put in support, yesterday's VWAP for TradingView on my chart is not 100% accurate because I don't pay for the data on TradingView. It doesn't make sense for me to pay on data on multiple sources, so I don't actually pay for data on TradingView. So this number is a little of a ballpark. Technically, I mean, it's always a ballpark. It's never to the line, right? It's always a ballpark. So right now the earnings anchored VWAP is around 182.75, and today's anchored VWAP is coming in at around 183.61. So right around, I want to say basically 180 to 183 is the area that I want to see the stock finding support in. If any sort of a move to the downside comes into play tomorrow off in the open, in the pre-market, I don't want to see the stock tickling 180 for too long. I want to see it going into 180, finding support and bouncing off of that. The next level below 180 that I could kind of watch for is where the 2-day anchor VWAP is, and also this little consolidation area on the 5-minute chart right into 175. So our S1 is yesterday's VWAP. Let me just scroll up for you, and then S2 will be right around 175 area, which I'm going to throw in a line real quick on the chart right around there, 175 area for myself. Okay, so watching how ANF sets up for tomorrow. Let's see a beautiful day 2 opportunity to the long side off the dips over here. And if for any reason we're not able to hold 180 or 170, then there's a big short opportunity to the downside, which I think honestly won't set up because ANF numbers were actually really good. And that was a stock that reported today pre-market. But coming back to the stocks that report after hours, let's go see what happens over here with Path. Looks like we got some messages in the chat though. Let's go see what happens. Run better than Amazon was a bookstore too, bro. JK, they're trash. I guess that's a fair argument for C3AI, but yeah, that's a fair argument for C3AI. You're right. Amazon was a bookstore in a garage, and then it turned into the world's largest store in the world, the online biggest store in the world. Just put AI in your name and your stock goes up 1,000%. Yeah, I'm actually Prad AI, and watch my personal net value go up 1,000% tomorrow. Shocked Elon didn't do that yet. Tesla AI goes to $1,000 per share. I mean, Tesla technically doesn't need to even put in AI because it's not really a car company. Everyone just keeps getting it confused that it's a car company. You got to realize that they make more than just cars, right? They make more than just cars, so they don't even need to put AI in their name. Now they just have to prove to people that they make more than just cars by creating these robots that are coming out that are already going to have XAI in them, which is his AI company that he created not too long ago. What Nvidia moved up yesterday, you could call it was like a continuation of earnings move, but on that very same day, XAI and Nvidia, some news came out for it, and that's why Nvidia shot up yesterday pretty drastically and made a new all-time high. Something's in my eye. Don't like that. But you know, you're not wrong by saying what you're saying. Just put AI in your name. But you know, Tesla does not need to put AI in its name, in my opinion. It's just once they just start making all these other products, they're just gonna prove to other people that they're just not a car company. Obviously, it sounds like I'm deep throating Elon right now, so let me just pull this cock out of my mouth and move on. If you change the source in the settings for Anchor, VWAP, or VWAP, it will change the calculation. Yes, but VWAP data is dependent on the data source that you're calculating off of, right? So if you're not paying for all the data, you're never going to have 100% accurate VWAP no matter what setting you're going to put it to. So because of the data that I don't pay for on TradingView, the VWAP is not 100% the accurate VWAP. It's within the ballpark though. It's not bad. It's not wrong. It's within the ballpark, which works for me. I'm okay with that. Coming back to the stocks though, Pat moving to the downside off the earnings report, flushing quite a bit to the downside over here. If I remember correctly, this stock also talks about AI and all the other stuff in their report, but it looks like that report not helping them out tonight and selling off quite a bit. Let me just actually map some levels out here real quick. Did we go to 14? We went under 14 to $13. We made a new 52-week low tonight in the after hours over here. So for any pops into $14, $15, which honestly I don't think 15 even comes into play, but any pops into 14, probably looking to see how we can sell on the stock over here. The market clearly did not like the report. You can see how this 1238 found a nice support. Okay, I like that. This bottom from May 2023 is exactly where the stock found some support in the after hours. We're waiting to see how it reacts on any pops into 14. So putting UiPath $14 as R1, R2 I'm gonna put in $15. As for support one, I'm gonna put in 1230 to 12. I'm just gonna put in 1230 to 12 and see how the stock reacts in between at this $13 area. I'm just gonna call it inflection. I'm not really care about it too much as to how the stock trades at that price. Barkit, if you're still in the chat, I remember correctly that you were asking me for Okta. Yeah, see how Okta traded in the after hours over here? This is the type of move that doesn't really get me too excited. Usually the moves like these where it goes down and then comes back, they are a lot less violent than what we're seeing. So the stock usually does this and then just kind of settles into today's range. This is actually pretty violent, right? You see it going back and forth quite a bit. Clearly a buyer into this 80, 87, 88 area, and clearly a seller into this 100 area. So now you just have a box that the stock has to decide what it wants to do in. If it can break out above 100 and make a little bit of move above 100, then it can have some action over here. Maybe Okta should be on my watch list tomorrow, but you know, that move in the after hours is very shaky. Sellers are being forceful, buyers are being forceful. If for any reason the stock is clearly holding above 100 tomorrow though, and easily holding above 100, I think there's a long opportunity there for sure, without a doubt. So maybe there's a trade there. Keep it on watch. Moving down the watch list, Agilent, Alliant, I don't know. Something Technologies is reporting earnings and flushing to the downside. So another ticker to add to the watch list, bouncing perfectly off the $120 area right now, and looks to be that we are well below a lot of the support areas that you would expect the stock to kind of find some bounce into. Below 128, we are now all the way down into here, into 120. Actually, we bounced perfectly off of that 121. Yeah, look at that, bounced perfectly off of that 121. So almost pulling all the way back into the gap low. After making the gap low is where we're bouncing into. So if for any reason the stock pushes back into that price, finds support again, there's a good long there, and I can't see the stock going above 128 tomorrow at all. So 128 resistance, 121.20. I'm just going to put 121 as support, and then below 121, there's just free move to the downside for that gap close. That could very well play out tomorrow also at 114.50. But the stock's ATR is only $3, so I don't think we close the gap completely. There could be a little bit of move below 121. I'm more so looking for the false break. The false break of 120 or the false break of 121 could set you up for a beautiful long back through 120, back through 121 for a nice ride up. But if the stock doesn't really have any buying and you see the follow through, the volume increasing on the breakout to the downside, then maybe it's just a short and you stay away from the false breakout. So let me just put it into my notes over here. Look for the false break of 121/120, but if there is follow through, then no long, just get short. Color orange. Boy oh boy, we're gonna have so many trades tomorrow with the high priority. HPQ. Maybe on the lighter priority side. Now, this is the type of move I was talking about when I was referring to Okta, when the stock usually has a big reaction and then does nothing and just stays into a little tight range in the after hours off the earnings move. These are the type of trades that I'm not really too excited for, but looks like HPQ came out with the okay report and gave a little bit of a reaction off of it. What I did like about HPQ, however, was that little top at $33.45. If we can clearly trade above that and hold above that tomorrow, which we look to seem to be doing so in the after hours right now, if we can clearly hold above that 33.50 tomorrow as a support, then I think there's a little bit of a trade opportunity. But keep in mind the stock only has an ATR of 62 cents. So on the priority list, you can see how I'm coloring it in a different color than some of the other stocks that we've talked about today already. HPQ not really on the high priority of stocks. AEO. Now, you might think that, hey, if people are wearing Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister, they should also be wearing American Eagle, but that apparently does not seem to be the story. American Eagle getting absolutely smoked. They make exactly the same clothes. You cannot tell me differently. You cannot tell me that ANF and Hollister have different palettes than American Eagle. Say that with their serious face in the chat. This is simply impossible. But however, this stock getting smoked to the downside. I don't think that this stock will give Abercrombie and Fitch any sympathy trade to the downside. I don't think it's possible. But you know, ANF had an insane move. I think there's a little bit of a pullback warranted, so we could look for that trade there. AOE with less than $1 ATR, a little bit of sell-off that coming into play for us to possibly play with. We got a nice little bottom over here. If we can clearly get below that bottom, which honestly we might be, we're just finding support / resistance around this area. So yeah, if we can get below that area, there's a possible trade to the downside going all the way into this low over here, around $19, around $20. But AOE, not really a stock with high importance for tomorrow. So let's move down the list. PSTG, Pure Storage. Pure Storage at all-time highs, reporting earnings tomorrow, or no, tonight, pre-market. Tonight after hours. Okay. Tonight after hours and breaking to another new all-time high for PSTG. So shout out to PSTG. Now all the levels above here for PSTG are just pure discovery zone. We have no clue how the stock will react above here, but at the moment you can see how this after hour high of 68.95, so let's just say 69 to $70 is a little bit of resistance. I will not be surprised if in the pre-market we're actually trading above 70. So we might have to even revamp some of our levels in the pre-market based on how the stock is trading in the pre-market. I am looking for support, however, on any pullbacks into where the earnings anchored VWAP is. Apparently it's around $67. I'm gonna say anywhere from 67 to 65 area. I want to look for support in that $3 range to the downside. The stock doesn't even have a $3 ATR. It's about a $2 ATR, but I'm gonna give it a $3 range to look for the stock to find some support from $67 to $65. Show me that there's some buyers there, and if there are, I want to join them for a rally to the upside. So PSTG going to a new all-time high. Not that long of a IPO. I think it IPO'd in 2016. Yeah, 2016 IPO. I wasn't a day trader then, but we are now. So let's see if we can capitalize on this move to the all-time high and even higher. Next stock, CGC. Recently, weed stocks spiked up crazily with Germany legalization, with USA legalization and all that. But CGC is in the basket of stocks that report earnings tomorrow pre-market. So quickly go through some of the stocks over here. CGC being one of them. A little bit of a choppy range, but if the numbers come out good, we can see CGC really screaming to the upside because they should have a decent short flow. Next stock, Foot Locker. Foot Locker giving us a nice little boxed ranges at the moment. We have some sort of a resistance here. We have a support over here. I mean, we could even just throw in the lines right now. So why don't we just throw in the lines right there? I want to mark out that high also. I want to put a high over here real quick. I want to mark out that little flat top area. I want to mark out that little bottom and then this little bottom over here. And now we got some levels for us to react with if the stock pushes in there and we see some selling or buying, and the pre-market when it pulls out with its earnings report. Next stock, Dollar General. Dollar General was a monster trade on its last earnings report. This is the one I'm talking about. It was a monster trade on its last earnings report. If I remember correctly, I had the short. If I remember correctly, I had the short, or maybe we wrote up about it. Can I go find it right now? Trade write-ups. Do I have Dollar General written anywhere? Dollar General. Oh, I don't. Okay. Journal. Look up for Dollar General. DG. What date was this? This was March 2024. March 14, 2024. Okay, so I did trade it. Let's see if I can find my trade. ANET. Microsoft. UI, Dollar General. I tried a short and it didn't work out for me. Can I open this somehow? Can't? Okay. Maybe I can just bring in the screen for you guys. There you go. So I tried a short near the lower day. Didn't work out for me, but it was a monster opportunity as it comes back through the even dollar area. It gave you shorts all the way throughout the day. Monster short over there on Dollar General. Boy, oh boy, I remember that day so well. I remember like it was yesterday. So let's see how Dollar General sets up over here as we have 3 earnings anchored VWAPs. We are currently between 2 of them. We're between the most recent and the least recent. That sets up for a nice little anchored VWAP pin setup, and somehow we're actually in between the middle anchored VWAP, so right between both of them. And now we're just waiting to see if the seller's in control or if the buyer's in control, and whoever is about to take over when this report comes out in the pre-market. Dollar General. Best Buy, usually I like trading it around earnings reports, so we'll see how Best Buy sets up. But right now the choppiness of the stock on the daily chart doesn't really get me too excited. So if you were to grade a setup for Best Buy, it's like probably a C or a C minus, whereas some of the other stocks like as PSTG is like a A or a B. CRM, AI, they're all up there on the grade levels, whereas Best Buy is like in a C minus because of how choppy the daily chart is. It's just not the cleanest chart that you'll find a good trade off of, at least in my opinion. Now, going to another recent IPOs, Birkenstock coming out with their earnings report tomorrow. Looking forward to see how this stock sets up. The volume on the 30-day average is very, very light. So if the volume does not pick up tomorrow, if I don't see at least 300 million shares in the pre-market, maybe that's expecting too much out of it, but I want to see at least 100 million, not 100 million, sorry, 100,000 shares in the pre-market. Then I'll be doubting the stock's ability to do anything. Let's see how the report comes out first before we start hurling some negative comments at it. Another stock in the same realm as Birkenstock, but actually brings in a little bit more volume and has a lot higher ATR. It's going to be Burlington Stores. So watching how Burlington Stores reports, it's actually cleaner on the daily chart, like I was saying, compared to Best Buy. You can see how this flat top gave us a breakout going into the earnings report. Then we reclaimed that level and we pushed back down, find some buyers again. Buyers came back in, and now we're finding resistance into that flat top going into the earnings report. So if for any reason we're able to get above this 200, 201 area, I think there's a clean long to the upside on Burl. BBW, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, not really a stock of very high importance to me, but surprisingly enough, today's high was exactly near one of my lines that I had mapped out. Where does that line come from? Look at that. That's where that line comes from. So if the stock reports a good earnings report, we will be reclaiming March 2006. We will be reclaiming March 2006 levels and pushing into IPO day high levels. Or actually, we're above IPO day high levels right now. But pushing into 2006 March, April highs, reclaiming those highs, and then going higher than that into the all-time high. So this might be a shadow play. Honestly, could be a shadow play. I'm going to put in the levels right now. 3250 R1, R2, 37, S1. I technically want to see S1 as 3250 because I want to see the stock climb up higher and higher. So Build-A-Bear, we'll see how you set up. Keep in mind though, very light on volume. Very, very, very light on volume. So it might be hard to even take a lot of size in a trade. And if you're taking a trade, you're probably looking for a swing trade type of position. So waiting to see how the stock trades above this 3250 area and if it can bring any volume for us above it. Now going back to some of the stocks that we traded today and we smoked, our best trade on the day, Chewy. I took that 20 breakout because $20 had a little bit of resistance off the open. We ran up into 20, found a little bit of selling into 20, and then I took the breakout of 20 whenever that breakout happened. I think I actually captured it pretty much into $22, and then I flipped short. I scalped short a couple times. Sadly, I did not catch the main move. I guess, no, I did catch the main move. Yeah, I caught the main move. Let's go. Shout out to me. So I scalped it long. I scalped it short. I had fun with Chewy today. Looking forward to see how Chewy sets up as a day 2 opportunity. Looks like if we are able to hold above 2150, we could have another move to the north side over here. But with a crazy move like today, I would expect this 2150 area to continue to act like a resistance for a couple days before we set up for a little bit of breakout. Let the shorts pile in. And then when we break out of 22, the shorts are proven wrong. That sets up for a way better breakout than just simply taking today's breakout for a move to 25 just because the stock went up $5 today, right? The stock's ATR is $1. Expecting it to go $5 on a day 2 will be a little ridiculous. So waiting to see how the stock reacts at $22, and on the dip to the downside, what is today's low? $19.16. I technically don't want to see the stock below $20. Today's VWAP is 21. I don't want to see the stock below 21 or under 20. So I'm going to put in S120, S121. Come on. S121, and S2, S20, because I don't want to see it under that. If it is under that, going into $19, then it's almost not a real trade for me anymore. I'm just going to ignore it, let the stock do its thing, and then we can come back to a later time. Dick's. I know Ani likes Dick's. Dick's Sporting Goods, I meant, Ani. Come on. I was being talking about stocks. I don't know where your mind went, Ani. Your mind's always in the gutter, though. So you need to get it out of the gutter. But Dick's moving to the north side into the 52-week high over here. Is that the all-time high? Let me correct myself. Into the all-time high and just barely peaking above the all-time high over here. I guess, no, I'm wrong. It actually went up well above the all-time high into $229.50. So a little bit higher than the previous all-time high, and sadly closed under just slightly. Did it close under? Just slightly above the previous all-time high. Shout out to DKS. So if for any reason we have any sort of a dip and bounce off of today's VWAP right around 222.50 is where it says. I'll say 220, 250 to 223, or even you can say 225. Honestly, 225 could be where the bounce could actually happen, but I'll watch that whole area, 223.50 to 225 area, to see how the stock reacts on a move to the downside. As for resistance, you have the new all-time high today around 230, and I'm not really watching 229.50. I'm watching 230. So I'll watch and see how 230 reacts on DKS on any sort of move to the upside. Kava, what a beautiful move to the upside. We called out this trade yesterday. Market actually took this trade. The trade was, watch how the stock reacts into the after hour low. If it finds buying into the after hour low, it's a long. Off the open, the stock flushes, peaks under the after hour low slightly, and then immediately pops back up. On the drop back down, you can see how it gets bought back up again. Then moves back into VWAP, gets bought back up, moves back into VWAP, gets bought back up every time. This is a beautiful spot to get long with your stop down over here. In fact, I might even have to write up this trade for myself. Tonight, because we missed a monster trade over here. Let me open up my trade write up and just make a note for myself over here. Write up Kava, trade write up template, bang bang bang, and now I remember to do it before I go to bed. So Kava, we missed the trade, monster move to the hindsight, monster move in hindsight, but monster move to the upside, giving us a trade over here that we missed. Let's see if we get a day 2 continuation. These are the type of moves on stocks that usually give you this type of trade where they drop off the open and then just rip later on. So watching very closely where yesterday's close, and also where both the anchored VWAP from today and yesterday, also the earnings anchored VWAP, all come into play right around $83 to $82. So Kava, I want to see a dip into $83 to $82 and then sharp bounce off of that for me to show that today's move is still very much in play, for us to break out of today's high and then continue rallying. Today's high is where I'll be using as a little bit of resistance, 89.69. Someone has a beautiful sense of humor. So basically $89.69 to $90 is what we're watching to see how the stock reacts to the upside on Kava for a day 2 play. Now we head over to FSLR. First Solar, a trade that I actually did not even know was in play. Apparently Biden news came out, something about Biden news, blah 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 blah. Don't really know too much about the news, so I can't really speak too much about it, but that news gave the stock a monster move to the upside. And honestly, the only reason I found out about this trade right now, the guy who points out this trade complains about how retail traders such as myself, legendary retail traders such as myself, should have access to news and not miss out on plays like this. So let's go watch this video from Lance real quick and learn about why this trade was amazing.
We're going to go on a very quick but very important rant. So earlier today, I asked Twitter or the FinTwit community, what are all the reasons why I might have considered a swing long in for solar? And so we've probably gotten about 30 responses so far. And here's what causes me to now go on my rant is not a single person has mentioned the fact that this stock had news on it. I cannot stress
How can I
this
hear
enough.
this?
Like, one of the biggest blind spots of retail traders is that they do not have any clue about news. News is one of the most important variables there is to a stock trader, right? Like, literally, in pure binary terms, whether something has news or no news on it totally determines how I'm going to trade that stock, right? So news is what moves a stock price fundamentally, right? If we look at earnings reports or M&A news or all this sorts of stuff, like, the biggest variable there is there fresh news on this stock? And what I found from doing a lot of these questions over time is that the retail trading world almost virtually never, ever, ever, ever has any clue whether there's news or not on the stock. It is like a perennial thing that I get frustrated with, where nobody ever addresses the variable of news. And why is this important? Because if there's fresh news on a stock, I'm generally trying to go with the trend on that. I'm almost never looking for mean reversion. But if you have no clue about news as a variable and you don't even look to see if there's news, think about how different your trading is. You're probably trying to fade spikes and overextended stuff that's actually not overextended because it's on fresh news. It changes the game and the probability spectrum and the EV so much. The other thing that's ludicrous to me is if you're trying to backtest a setup, the biggest variable there probably is for many of these setups is fresh news or not, right? And so all of your back tests end up totally invalid. So when there's setups like the VVOS that everyone thought was total hindsight, or when there's setups like me getting long GME overnight that one day, or all sorts of different daily patterns, like, if you don't even check for whether there's news or not, your data is going to be totally awful. Like, there's stuff where if there's no news, I want to bet
Okay,
on
Lance, we
universe.
get it.
But
Thanks.
if there's news, depending the setup, it might be the
He's making me feel like shit. I guess that's the point.
And it's just so pervasive. The craziest thing is, like, I understand, right? You don't have the money for Bloomberg or all sorts of stuff. But even here on just like Thinkorswim, whatever, they have the little live news tool, right? It's so easy for me to check. Oh, like, let me click this. Shares of solar stocks are trading higher. Biden administration recently raised tariffs on Chinese solar. So what does that mean, right? That means if there's now tariffs on Chinese solar, U.S. solar, like First Solar, is far more competitive. And this results in a fundamental shift in the prospects of the stock, right? News is the most important variable. Even look at Qualamagi, right? Qualamagi has his stuff so openly available. Why do people still fail? Because they miss the nuances and don't actually do the work to understand why his method works. So many of his trades are these episodic pivots that are based off of fundamental news changing the story for the stock. And so to look at this setup and to say, oh man, this is too overextended, or this has gone too far, or I don't see it, and to have 0 for 30 people mention that, oh my God, this stock had huge fresh news, and I know the 5- whatever I did on First Solar was outdated, but you can just Google search this stuff, right? You can just Google, why is this stuff up? And so then if you're not investing in news sources, you probably need to be. Like, there's a lot of news aggregators that aren't that expensive. Like, most of these run $150 to $200 per month. And if you're saying, oh, I can't afford that, well, for like a lot of traders, like, you're like, this is so fundamental, and to be flying blind otherwise, it's like that could literally change you're trading around. So like in no way would I want to be long this stock if there wasn't news. But when there's news, that fundamentally changes every single part of this setup, right? And that's the same for GME. That's the same for why I might short Golf Lima when it does the bouncy ball pattern on that short report. It's the same for so many things where really news is the number one variable. So I know this is a rant. I'm not even going to bother dissecting any other part of this chart.
Really?
One thing for all of you to focus on is you need to be aware of news as a variable.
I thought he was going to talk about a trade for us.
To access news and become more informed.
Aww.
You need to figure out, is a news source right for you? What are the cheapest ones? What are the cheapest news aggregators? How does the data in your own trading change once you implement this variable? Because I am telling you, if you are trying to do mean reversion on something with fresh news, you are not going to have fun. If you're trying to do trend following on moves without fresh news, you're going to also have less fun. Like, it is one of the most powerful variables to shift all the odds in your favor or out of your favor if you're totally blind.
And that's why you always look for stocks with the catalyst, right? Always look for stocks with the catalyst. Always look for stocks that are in play. And we might have missed one that was very much in play off of a fresh news, off of a fresh catalyst from Biden catalyst and so on. And it's been on traction for quite some time now and almost pushing into all-time highs. So for that very same reason, we're going to put First Solar on our watch list. As you guys have probably seen me just now while we were watching that video, I threw in an anchored VWAP for the start of that move because I want to see how the stock reacts on a pullback into that dip over there into 250 where currently the anchored VWAP is. But that anchored VWAP could easily just keep getting painted higher and higher. And for that, the stock needs to go also higher and higher above the all-time high. So we're waiting to see how the stock reacts going into the next few days. Obviously, as you can see, the volatility seems to be dying down a little bit. We had one spike of volatility, a big spike of volatility, a little bit dumbed down of volatility. The stock found bounce off of the anchored VWAP, and then we broke that 2-day high, ran up again, and then now we're kind of dumbing down on the volatility, getting ready for that expansion again. So let the sellers come in. This is when the trades get better. Let the sellers come in. Let them know that they're wrong because the buyers are still there. And when the sellers look for their exits, for taking some profits, getting out for break even, and then getting stopped out. Anyone who didn't take profits, they're getting stopped out for their whole position. So when their stops trigger, and then you also get the breakout long traders, whoever was waiting for the breakout over here, they're entering long. So any one of those trades, you also have the longs who are getting started from this VWAP dip. Anyone who bought in on the dip of the VWAP, they're probably adding on the breakout of the high on the high over here and then riding up to the north side too. So you want to see this back and forth action, and FSLR setting up with that back and forth. Gotta be on the watch tomorrow. The volume is obviously dying down, as you guys can see. We're just slightly getting towards the moving average on the volume over here, but a must-have on your watch list tomorrow nevertheless. And that brings us to a shit ton of stocks. Some of the stocks that I didn't even color yet, that's because I'm going to color them tomorrow in pre-market based on how their earnings report set up. But we have a shit ton of stocks, and we didn't even talk about the semiconductors, the Magnificent Sevens, the Nvidias, the QQQs, the Coinbases, and so on. So to say the least, we have a lot of stocks on board tomorrow for us to be excited about. There's simply no reason for anyone to go around and say that I could not find a trade. There is 100% reason for you to say I missed the trade, but there is no reason for anyone to say tomorrow that they could not find a trade. It's not possible for me. I just laid out like at least 3 good trades that might play out tomorrow. I won't stroke my ego too hard and say will, but if you guys have been watching my streams, there's at least been a single trade that's been working off the watch list for you. So if you want to subscribe to the watch list, go check out my link below in the description for my Patreon. Sign up to my Patreon. You get some added perks along with my watch list sent out to you in your email every single night. right into your email every single night. Or you can just replay the stream and get it for free in the morning, right? Get it for free in the morning if you want to. That's true. Zim was a good trade. I mean, come on now. Zim was a monster trade. But now Zim's pulling back a little bit. We'll wait and see how Zim reacts. I actually didn't even bother to put any of these stocks on my watch list, like Zim, GME, Novavax, or any of these. But let me just quickly... Ooh, Novavax getting a little juicy again, huh? But yeah, I didn't put any of these stocks on my watch list because I feel like we have way too many stocks on the watch list for tomorrow. Now, the economic calendar. Tomorrow's economic calendar coming out with 8:30. We have jobless numbers. We have GDP numbers coming out also at 8:30. And then we have retail numbers, wholesale numbers, pending home numbers. Oh my goodness, tomorrow seems to be busy, busy, busy. Crude oil inventories, obviously. Today's Wednesday? Yes, so tomorrow's nat gas. Tomorrow's nat gas. Wait, but we had long weekend. So today is oil, or tomorrow is oil? I guess so. Because we had long weekend, I guess tomorrow is oil. And today we had nothing. And then Friday we have nat gas. Ah, okay, because of the long weekend. Makes sense. So tomorrow should technically be nat gas, but because of the long weekend, we have crude oil numbers coming out at 11 o'clock. After that, we have the FOMC member talking at 12 o'clock. We have got a couple bill auctions coming out at 11:30. Make sure you subscribe to our Discord where the economic calendar is posted for you guys, or go check out economic calendar on investing.com. Not affiliated to them by any means, but I use them very much every single day to see what times these specific key economic data comes out at, because they tend to move the markets quite a bit. So you want to be careful. Don't get caught offsided. Make sure you're watching 8:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then 12:05 area to see how the market reacts to all those time periods. Besides that, that's basically all she wrote for today's stream. And we are running a little late into the stream for the chess stream. So why don't we not play chess today? Psych, you thought. Nope. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you're only here for the chat, only here for the stocks. But if you're here for the chess, your party starts now. So let's bring our music back. Move your face. I got it. I swear you have that on copy paste now, huh? I swear you have that on copy paste now. All right, white to move. Wait, where the hell is the noise? What the hell do I do here? But why can't he just go there? Huh? Oh, right, here. Ha, I'm stupid. Ahaha. Ahaha. Alright, go to the next one. White to move. But if I go there, I guess he could have moved here. Yeah, if I go here, he could have moved here and evaded it still. But here, he can't die and he still gets a checkmate. Gotcha. I swear I'm getting dumber in this game now. I swear I'm getting dumber. Like, I'm losing some of my chess skills. I swear to God. That's granted, if I had any to begin with. But I'm losing any that I had. Yo, this beat is a good beat. If you guys haven't heard this one yet, this is a good beat. I like that string instrument there. Like, I think it's a sitar. I should say it in the proper Indian way. Sitar. And that drum. Ooh, that drum line, bro. We're about to get DMCA'd by Dieter Music. DMCA'd by Dieter Productions incoming. Sitar with some part in reverse. Hey, I told you it was sitar. I know my music, bruh. Come on now. Black to move. This beat's nuts. Nuts beat. Alright, let's get this game. I did not play any games last night, so I did not go up at all. I played against this guy before. I swear to God I've played against this guy before. And I beat him. I swear to God. No, I think I lost to him. Wait. I think I lost to him. Wait, I can't remember. I think I beat this guy before. I swear to God I played this guy before. I take, he takes. I take, he takes. There's no point. He's gonna come for that, but I can do this and do this. If he takes that, then I take this and he takes that, right? So not really worth it. I'll do this for now. If he takes me, I'm just gonna bring my queen in, so I don't give a shit about that. I lose a knight, and I lose that knight too, most likely. If he's dumb enough to take that, then I lose that. But alright, let's make some advances here. I could castle too. He castled. Alright, let's start advancing here. He takes, I take. He takes, I take. I could even take like that. This is a good song for this game too right now. We're having a showdown. You want to trade? It's better to take with the horse. I was thinking that. I should have done that, right? I was thinking about that. Oh well. I was thinking about that, I'll be honest. I should have taken with the horse. That way I could have kept my 2 bishops alive and I would have lost the horse. That's honestly a way better route. I should have done that. Well, this guy is dead. I should probably castle my fucking thing before he moves this guy over and locks me up, huh? I should castle 100%. He's gonna lock me up. Why not move bishop? I would have died here. I would have died here. I would have died here. I die here. I gotta move this piece up too, and then I can get rid of the bishop, move back. Oh, instead of moving, oh no, I should have moved my bishop anyways because I was risking that. I should have moved my bishop anyways, and now I can eat. Unless he does this, then he's got that defended. I could have just done that. Oh, I could have. You're right. Shit. Yeah, I could have just done that. I was gonna take the rook, but then I saw that this was here, so I made the... I was gonna do this, but then I saw that this was here. So I just did this because I needed to protect that. He's up pieces, but not really putting it to work, you know? Oh my god. I should have seen your message earlier, Dieter. No. No. I should have seen your message earlier, Dieter. It's gonna be GG right here, isn't it? Yeah, it's GG, bro. Just go do that. Let's help him out. Bro, I'm telling you how to win. What? Bro said shut the fuck up. What? I'm telling you how to win. Nope, the game is on. What? You could have won if you moved queen to b2. Brother, what is he smoking? And now he's gonna end the game. Oh my god, this guy is worse than me, dude. And I lost to him. Gotta love it. Alright, what's this guy's flag? Nepal. Alright, let's win a goddamn game, dude. I have the help of chat and I'm not even using it. How big of a bot am I? Come on. That was a mistake. Eat the horse, then the rook. Well, I can't anymore, can I? That's the only real move he has right now is to do this. And I can go here or I can pull back here. Call me GM Hikaru. Call me GM Hikaru. Okay, so now do I go here or here? If I go here, I'm not really doing much. But I'm blocking his pawn. And if I go here, I get to ask for a trade. I want to ask for a trade. Thank you. And now I get to advance my pieces further and further. This game has been good. It's going good. That one mistake and we capitalized. Now all we need to make sure is that we don't make mistakes. Uh-huh. A pawn for a rook? C2? Why C2? Why not E2? Why C2? Because you like this better than this? You saw nothing, buddy. You saw nothing that GM Prad didn't already see. Come on, I predicted that rook move like an absolute grandmaster. Yeah, I knew that's what you were thinking. I knew you were thinking A4, but then we don't really have a defense. Ooh! Ooh-wee! Let's go, chat. We did it. We did it. An abandoned win is a win nevertheless. A win nevertheless. 12 move win, baby. Let's go. Big dub. We lost one. We won one. We're back to 415. I'm actually going to play more chess to wrap up my night with. But boy, oh boy, was that fun. A good game. We capitalized on. And that's the only thing that matters. Only thing that matters. All the other losses, move on. We come back another day. The trading mentality. You lose, learn from the losses, come back another day. Thankfully, I'm better at trading than I am at chess, apparently, because I can't seem to be learning from my losses in chess. I'm doing better than I was previously, so fuck you if you're hating on me. But hey, GM Prad, about to head to bed. That's all. I'm about to play chess for the rest of the night. Go eat some food and then play chess for the rest of the night. You guys have a great night. And an even better trading session tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow, 8 o'clock for the final stream of the week. I'll see you guys then. TraderPrad out. Ciao. Love you guys. For tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to bring in my big screen over here. Back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host, TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.